Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine and today I will be discussing StudyKit. StudyKit is a cost-free application friendly to both students and teachers with its goal to make studying more approachable and stress-free. Through the modification of flashcards and practice tests, users are given the opportunity to cater their studying experience to their specific needs or preferences. In addition to its individual benefits, StudyKit can also be utilized within a classroom setting. This can look like access to teacher-made resources or even friendly competition among peers with StudyKit's gamification aspects. This video in particular will center its focus on the perspective of the ESL students, highlighting the benefits of flexibility and choice when it comes to studying. As such, I've narrowed the video down to the following topics, placing particular emphasis on resource creation, as well as an in-depth exploration of resource customization. First, we'll begin with a short walkthrough of the StudyKit site through the perspective of both a teacher and a student. Something that stuck out most to me when I first created an account was the simplicity and ease when navigating through StudyKit. Simply by inputting an email address and password, my account was created. When logging into both accounts, we're met with an identical main screen and side panel containing all the applications within StudyKit. The similarities between both student and teacher accounts can aid especially in troubleshooting any difficulties students may have with the application. One difference, however, between teacher and student will be the classroom function. Whereas teachers have the ability to create a classroom, students may only join. The procedure when creating a classroom is quite similar to how you would through Google Classroom. Once establishing a unit and a class, a space is created where you can drop resources curated to that particular unit and class. Classrooms can be joined through the sharing of the code located at the bottom. Here, I've created an imaginative classroom for a grade 8 language arts class in which I've attached a resource using the add function. Resources can be created in the Your Library tab, where you can create trial sets that can be tweaked and adjusted before adding them into the classroom for students to practice. Once a resource has been published, students can easily access it at the click of a button. Classrooms can be used as a way to monitor students' daily progression through the leaderboard located below. The streak is an indication of how many days students have studied this resource in a row, whereas the points reflect each student's daily goal progress, which can be adjusted based on the student's needs. Resources can take 3 different forms: a flashcard deck, a document more suited to bullet point form outlines, or a practice test. Resource creation can be completed in the Your Library tab. Once deciding upon a format, you will be given numerous ways in which you may create. You can create from scratch, import information from an alternative source, or use AI to generate an outline based on the information you provide. The flexibility for resource development creates a realm of endless possibilities in which users can view and practice the content in a manner best fitting to them. Here, I've handcrafted a straightforward definition-based flashcard set on figurative language. Following the prompts described, I type my question at the top and place my answer at the bottom. Once I'm satisfied with my set, I simply click on the save icon, where it is then published for public use. If you do not want to publicize your deck, simply click on the Deck Info tab and click Private to privatize. Any changes made to decks already published to the classroom are automatically updated without delay. While classroom resources may prove useful, students are not limited to those resources provided alone. Instead, students are encouraged to create their own sets as they'd have the opportunity to customize and adjust accordingly to meet their personal preferences and goals. Having the ability to create our own resources can aid in greater retention through methods such as paraphrasing, for instance. Here, I created a modified version of the figurative language set provided in the classroom. Keeping the general idea fairly the same, I've shortened the answers to be more blunt and straightforward, and I've also changed the phrasing for some cards. Rather than statements, I've opted for comparison and fill-in-the-blank style questions. StudyKit's learning resources can be extremely flexible and personalizable, tailoring to the learner's strengths and/or weaknesses as they so choose. Say there's a student who prefers to study through practice tests, for instance. Here is a set I've created using the test function. When creating questions, you're given numerous formats such as matching, multiple choice, fill in the blank, and true or false. Questions may also be weighted at different amounts based on the information provided. For instance, I've made my matching question worth 5 points, whereas my multiple choice question is only worth 1. Despite their simple appearance, the same customization opportunity is also given to flashcard decks. When engaging in a deck, students are given a variety of ways in which they may study. These functions ensure that users of all levels and backgrounds are accounted for. Here, I'll be exploring the vocab study session function, as well as the short story function. The vocab study session personalizes your learning experience from your familiarity with the content to the style of questions you'd like to practice with. Functions such as listen, where questions are spoken and revealed at the end, can test the student's acquisition of the language while also offering greater familiarity with English pronunciation. The write function allows students to type out their answers, placing focus on spelling and understanding of the content. While StudyKit's flexibility can prove useful to students of all levels, functions like listen can be especially useful for students who rely on class time alone for English language exposure and engagement. The short story function is a unique feature that creates a story-like simulation based on the student's selected deck and goal in mind. What makes this function so special is its inclusivity to English language learners, especially at earlier benchmark levels. Once a deck and goal has been selected, the user has the ability to incorporate their native language into the story while simultaneously learning their target language. Students are also given the option of a narrator, each option providing various dialects of the English language. The short story function aims to test comprehension of the information derived from the chosen study deck in the target language. Questions are then followed up in the user's native language, a feature especially eye-catching to those who may feel more comfortable with their home language. Customizable features like these offer students both a personalized learning experience catering to their needs, as well as an endless opportunity to both engage and test their knowledge without having to rely solely on class time. StudyKit offers an easygoing approach to learning, inclusive to students of all levels and backgrounds. StudyKit's flexibility and versatility allows for a more personalized learning experience both in and outside of the classroom. StudyKit can be accessed through any web browser or even on mobile devices, ensuring all students can learn at their own leisure and have just as much opportunity as their peers, no matter where they are. StudyKit's gamification aspects also provide a more fun and less stressful approach to learning, emphasizing the idea that knowledge acquisition does not have to be strictly traditional or complex for it to be effective. The implementation of StudyKit as a classroom activity can foster collaboration or even friendly competition among students of all levels, establishing an even playing field. A nice little bonus to look forward to is accessorizing Kit the Fox with the points accumulated from study sessions. The amount of points earned corresponds to the student's set goal, which can be found on the dashboard. When we were first tasked with this assignment, my initial goal was to look for something that would make language acquisition less pressuring to students in both a mental and a physical aspect. A concern that often crossed my mind was the feeling of being behind, often due to circumstances outside of the student's control. The years of experience native English speakers have been equipped with stemming from birth, or even just having no one to practice with at home. What drew me into StudyKit in particular was both its accessibility outside of the classroom, in turn creating equal opportunities, and its many customizable functions, ensuring not just ELLs, but all students' needs were met. With its emphasis on inclusivity and sensitivity towards students as a whole, I think StudyKit can be a great resource to implement in the classroom. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for listening.